Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Feeling Free. Today's episode is with none other, the incredible Mimi Bouchard. And today we talk about discovering spirituality and really becoming your best self. How do we live in the present, but also make sure we are not average and we are planning for the future and being our best selves in all aspects of life. So if this conversation feels like your vibe, then you don't want to miss it. Mimi is an incredible human, and I'm excited for this conversation, and she has some big things coming. So thank you for being here. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, what you love, the favorite part, give it a little like. And yeah, I'm happy you're here. Without any other delay, let's get into this convo. Let's go. Well, Mimi, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here. I just got back from LA a couple of days ago, so I'm still kind of dealing with a bit of jet lag, but I'm feeling good, motivated, and happy.
I love that. Well, thank you for being here. And I just like how I wanted to begin this is just to make sure that how important and how like special you are, like for you, just for the sake of you.
Yeah.
But also I know that for like other people, like you have a big purpose and a genuine soul. And I know you know this, and like you probably hear it, but I just want you to like know it and like feel it from me that it really is important, like for like what I see with so many girls and so many women, of the different aspects of life that you embody, from like the inner and outer beauty to the intelligence, the ambition, to some of, a flair of the bougie and, mixing with the mindfulness. And it really an example of you can be whatever you want to be as long as it feels good for you. And I'm so happy you're here. And that even goes along with my first question. You can respond to this, but my first question would be like, I'm curious, like, how did you get here? Like, you not have to explain your whole story, but I'm curious of whether it's past, like previous moments in your life or recent moments of how did you become more you? Like, how did you remember the essence of Mimi?
Wow. Well, I just want to start by saying thank you, Ben. That is so nice and really just heartwarming. And I totally connect with
Good.
you, even though we've barely even spoken. Like,
Mhm.
I think you're an awesome person as well. And I'm really excited to chat with you and to be doing this podcast with you. And yeah, to answer your question, I've changed a lot over the past, I would say, especially the past 5 years of my life. I think how you said it was really nice. How did you become more you? And I really like saying that as well, because I always think that personal development is more about unbecoming what you're not than it is about becoming what you've never been. I always think deep down inside of us, we've always had the real, authentic, truest, best self. And over time, as you're conditioned as, a young kid, from the ages of 0 to 8, we are like sponges in the world. We take on everything and we make up stories in our head, about the world, and we see everything around us and we take it all in like a sponge. And after that, you've been conditioned. So I really think that who we really were at birth and as really young kids is who we really are. And having that lightness and that childlike, view for the world, I think it's super special. So I kind of lost myself from, I would say, the ages of like 12 until 21. So a good decade there. And I still had little moments of feeling me, but it was just, I was not authentic, to myself. Like I wasn't, I was kind of just numbed for that entirety of those years of my life. Like there were obviously moments where I felt great and, happy and stuff, but most of it was just a lot of conditioned beliefs and patterns that, just didn't, that wasn't aligned with me. So I would say, how did I get to where I'm now over the past especially like 2-3 years even of the big transformation I've gone through mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually, in every area of my life. I've upgraded in incredible ways. So, I guess it's just committing to myself and seeing the potential that I could be, and just believing in myself and being relentless. And if I fail, getting back up and trying again, and just being obsessed with being my ultimate self, because I really believe that, the biggest fear in my life, and we're going to talk about fear as well, is that feeling of regret. My biggest fear in my whole life is waking up one morning when I'm in my 80s or 90s or whatever year, and looking back at my life and thinking to myself, oh my God, what if? What if I was actually the best me? What if I was the real me? Because I think the best you and the real you are synonymous. I think that's the same version of you, right? So, I regret's my biggest fear, and I want to live life to the fullest, and I don't want to follow the crowd, and I want to be extraordinary, and I think everyone has that inside of them. So my goal in life is to help people feel alive again, connect with their aliveness again, feel like they're unstoppable, because they just need to change those beliefs that they have around not being unstoppable. So that's why I created my meditation platform. And I do the stuff that I do now because I experienced it myself. I'm still on the journey, but I've really experienced it and seen the benefits from it in every area of my life. And it would be a shame to not experience living this way for everyone. So that's why.
Ooh, that was really good.
Thank you.
There's so much goodness in there. I was thinking of questions, I was like, throughout the whole time, but it's flowing perfectly. So the word that's coming to my mind right now is when you authentic, but you use it authentic to yourself. But so much, especially in our world, authenticity is almost used as a strategy, be authentic, but so how do you feel into that, or how do you monitor it of I am being authentic to me and not what everyone else deems as authentic?
That's a good question. I'm very lucky to have a belief, and I've had it a lot of my life. That I really will, especially lately, past 5 years, I haven't really cared what people thought of me. So me being authentic is the only thing I know how to do. There are many different aspects to that, but me just being me in everyday life, and it's evolved on my social platform. I have my podcast, I have, my meditation app, I have my Instagram and stuff. But, the biggest thing that has helped me just connect to people in general is just by not thinking before I speak. And that's how I do my meditations. I've actually tried recording meditations that were pre-written that I wrote before, and it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. I was recently in LA filming a lot of stuff for my new website, because my meditation app is changing into a new name, new branding, and the new website. And I was recording a meditation for the free meditation people can get on the website, and it's going to be this epic video. And there was a meditation I wanted to recreate that I had made previously on Mimi Method, my meditation app.
So this is during, so you're in LA, you have the production all around you, and it's okay.
I had 20 people around me. We had a huge film crew, 4 different cameras, it was a lot of people. And I don't get nervous about that kind of stuff. I've had a lot of time on camera, so I don't really, luckily it doesn't make me nervous anymore. But I was listening. I had one of my AirPods and one of my ears covered by my hair, because I had to listen to this meditation I had to redo. And because it was the most popular meditation on my platform, and I wanted to redo it with this epic, video and stuff. And so I was listening to it and trying to speak the words again while listening to it. And it just didn't work. I couldn't record a meditation without just not thinking of anything but what I was being called to say. And I actually took out the AirPod, and I said to the team, I was like, I'm just freestyling this. It's not going to be the exact same, but I can't do it this way. And then I freestyled it in the first shot. It was done. I did it. And it was better than if I had just, done the same meditation and said the same words, because it was just coming from a different place. Right. So all to say, it's easier for me to be authentic than it is to not be. And I think you can teach yourself to have that skill as well.
Ooh, That's good. So when you go to that place, how do you describe that place? Like when you're in that moment, of just like when you said listening and going to that place, like what is that for you?
So, it's so funny, Ben. I am spiritual in my own way, but I'm not like overly woo-woo spiritual. Like I go to the meditation retreats, I do all this stuff. I'm very open to it. I have an intuitive coach I see every week. I'm
Mhm.
like really into that kind of stuff. But for me, how I teach and how I speak, it's not overly spiritual. Like it's more motivational and pragmatic. So,
Mhm.
when I just like when I try to explain what happens to me, like when I'm recording a meditation or in my flow, it is just me connecting with my higher self. And I know that, but I don't know if I don't even know if higher self is the right word. Cause again,
Mm.
like, I don't know if I align with it being like, I just, there's something bigger than me that is me. I
Mm.
feel like it's me though. So, and I connect with that. Maybe it's my future self. Maybe I'm time traveling through different dimensions and,
Mm.
connecting with the ultimate me. I don't know what it is, but
Mm.
yeah. So it feels like I'm in the flow and I don't think of anything. And I know exactly what I'm saying to who I'm saying it to because I've been through all that. I know how it feels to be anxious, overwhelmed, not clear. And I know how it feels to feel really motivated and driven and clear minded. And I know how to get someone from A to B because I do it to myself. And that's how I changed. I used to actually record voice notes on my phone to myself, voice memos
Mm.
back in the day, motivating myself. It wouldn't be a meditation. It was like a motivational talk that I would just talk to myself and I'd listen to in the morning because I'm like, okay, let's go. So that's kind of how Mimi Method meditations transformed or were created. I say Mimi Method meditations, but the name is changing in a couple months. So stay
Cool.
tuned for that. I'm not releasing the name yet, but it's going to be really cool. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of how it evolved. And that's why I think my meditations have done really well because they're really unique. I think there's such a time and place for the more deep spiritual meditations. And I've done a lot of them myself, but for what I create in my unique way, it's more of these like motivational cinematic music. They're not even, they're meditations, but they're not, right? So I'm kind
Mhm.
of paving a path for a new type of meditation that has really helped me. So it's a lot of intense visualization, just using your energy to feel like your future self before it's actually happened, which just, it's manifestation on crack basically. So
Well, yeah, that's interesting. So, yeah, I really wanted to ask you about that. Um, and it's interesting for me to just hear you talk about because it's still that you're discovering it, which I think is so cool, just even to own. But that's something, even what I said in the beginning, something that you have that you've tapped into, but you don't know what it is quite yet.
yeah, I kind of call it like my ultimate self, higher self.
Mm-hmm.
I've had experiences, very cool, like mystical experiences, even though I don't want to use that word because I don't want to scare people off when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I was at this meditation retreat, the Dr. Joe Dispenza one
Mm-hmm.
in January,
Mm-hmm.
and I had like a really intense meditation. And I like fully connected with whatever that thing is that comes through me when I
Mm-hmm.
do my meditations. And it was a very intense experience. Like I couldn't speak for like 4 hours after the meditation. It was like
Wow.
really intense. I had to take the rest of the day off. But it was like it's something not human. I don't know what it is though, but it's like it's just this like something. But again,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm still trying to explore it because
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I don't know. I my beliefs are a little bit like I'm stubborn in a way that if I don't see something, I don't know if I believe in it, but I'm very open to everything. I just like don't really know. I'm still in that phase of trying to figure it out, but all I know is that what I'm doing is working and
Mm-hmm.
it's really like hot like wildfire. My platform hasn't
Mm-hmm.
been
Exploding.
um it hasn't been live for it's been live for 10 months
Yeah.
and it's grown so quickly and people like the testimonials are just crazy. Like it's not like a typical meditation app testimonials. Like these are just like really intense and I'm getting letters every day on email talking about how these have like
Mm.
transformed people's lives and it's really cool. So I'm riding the wave and I'm going to keep going. And even though I don't know exactly what it is yet, the magic in it, maybe I'll figure it out one day. Maybe I'll just, I don't know.
So this is thank you. I actually just got chills. And so I was 2 minutes late to this because I was writing an idea down. And it's weird that you brought this up. So what I wrote down was, magic is the name for science that we don't understand yet.
Cool. Yeah. There's too much that's a coincidence sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know what to call it because like sometimes things happen to me where I'm just like, okay, like, this is really a coincidence. Like, I don't know, like I'm starting to be more and more tapped in, and I don't really know what it is yet. The more I meditate, the more I go deep into this work of mine. Because I have to be, this is like having this as a job has forced me to be my best self, because I can't record a meditation if I'm not feeling good about myself. Like I'm not really good at it. I'm not in that flow. I'm not connected.
Yeah.
So I'm like forced all the time to be working on myself to improve. And it's for a bigger purpose. It's not just for me, it's for a lot of people. And by doing so, I've grown myself really quickly. And yeah, sometimes I'll like feel things and like, I'll like think of a number and like look to the side and like that number is there. Like that happens way too often. I don't know what it is. It could be coincidence again.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be laying down on the beach near my house and meditating, and then I'll open and it's like clear blue skies. Nothing is in the sky. And then like right before I open my eyes, I just like, I want a sign. And my whole thing, like my sign that I think of when I'm in meditation, like this, my symbol to embody is like angel wings. Like, I don't know why. I just feel like it's just like a higher version of me has like angel wings. And this happened, clear blue skies. And I opened my eyes and there were these clouds there, just one set of clouds in the entire sky right above me, right where I looked. And it was like angel wings. I need to show you the picture. It was like,
I love it.
Really crazy, like little things like that. But then I'm like, is that coincidence? And then I'm like, maybe. And then I like post that cloud photo on my story just as a background to something I was writing. And I was not writing anything to do with the clouds. And then I have like a couple of DMs from people being like, oh, those look like angel wings. So I'm like, okay, so it's not just me. So it's just like little things. And I'll kind of like, I don't know, like I'm very tapped in these days. And I kind of just like, I don't know if it's like something I want or not. Like it's kind of like, I have a love-hate relationship with it. Cause I'm just like, I don't know. I want to feel grounded more. I think sometimes, I don't know if you ever deal with this. That was the photo I'm just showing you.
Interesting. Yeah. So like I don't know if I would have said that. So for people to respond to that, to say angel wings is pretty dope.
I know, it was weird. Anyway.
So
yeah.
Go ahead. This is, I love this because that's what I sense from you. But I feel like, so when you said the word grounded, so what makes you nervous about, and we could even do this later, but like, I'm just curious, what makes you feel ungrounded about it?
Oh, the unknown. I like known. I'm a known girl. Like I like having a plan. It's funny because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm always changing things. And, I'm okay with certain aspects of risk and unknown, but just in life in general, like I want to feel in control. I think that's actually it. But there are parts of my life that really help me feel that way. Like my boyfriend grounds me incredibly. He's not really into this kind of woo-woo stuff. So he's just like,
his name is Ben. Shout out to all the Ben.
His name is Ben. And, like, I don't know, there are aspects of my life that really ground me, but sometimes I still feel like I just want to be safe and in control. And I don't think control is a bad word. That's the thing, being obsessively controlling is not good, obviously, but I enjoy my aspects of liking control because it means, it shows in other aspects of my life because I know what I want and I'm really good at getting what I want. I'm really good at business. I'm really good at tapping into that masculine energy of just like doing and being decisive. And so, I think it's just this dance. And what really helps me if I'm feeling a little bit ungrounded because I'm so, up there creatively and just going around and, flowing, just feeling my power and control, just like feeling and believing like I can handle anything, like I can handle it. Right. So that's kind of one of the things that's what I go back to if I'm in a meditation sometimes and I'm kind of feeling like, I don't know what's going on. Like I'll just bring myself back to being like, I'm powerful. Like I'm untouchable. So, but
Yeah.
again, I don't even know, what I mean by all of this. Like, what am I scared of? I don't know. I've never experienced anything, that didn't feel I haven't experienced much in my life that didn't feel safe. I don't know. It's just this whole world of getting deep in spirituality is something to navigate for sure. So,
So if you were to finish the sentence, so I'm scared because
I don't have the control, or like I can't create the outcome. I love creating outcomes. I love being the creator of my life. And that's the thing too, I stand in a weird place when it comes to like, manifestation, law of attraction, spirituality, and then also like being the creator of your life, because, my biggest belief in life is that we are all 100% responsible for our lives. That's like one of my core beliefs. And, sometimes I get annoyed if like my intuitive coach, I'm like, oh, like this happened. How do I solve it? She's like, it's a past life trauma. And I'm like, no, I don't believe, like, I don't know if I don't believe in that. Like, I don't, like, I believe that this is all something that I've created for myself. How do I get over my own beliefs, my own way of being, to change aspects of my life? Right. So there are certain things that I butt heads with. And that's when people try to blame Mercury in retrograde. That's when people try to blame astrology, or I'm just, a Gemini. Like, it's like, I don't believe in any of that. It's like, you're not just a Gemini, you're a dick. Like, no, I like Geminis. But, I don't believe in it being outside of you. I think everything is within us. So that's why, I don't know, I just have some sort of like internal conflict when it comes to things that are a bit too out there, because, and I expose myself to it. I freaking go to the Joe Dispenza events, and those are very woo. And I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't know exactly what I believe in yet, but what I do know for sure is that our thoughts create our reality. And that's a deep belief of mine. And I've seen it in my own life. I know that's something you can always come back to. I know that. So that's what I know for sure.
I love it. So in a second, we're going to pivot, but like, this is super fun. So kind of how you said control, right, necessarily isn't bad. I think it's the same thing applied to the other worlds. Like, everything is neutral, right? So it's just like what you said, your thoughts create your beliefs. So whatever you believe something is, that's what it is. So, right, whether it's spiritual, past lives, Gemini, woo, whatever you assign to that word is true. So it's like, what do you want to believe? And the same thing is, and so far up until this point, you have chosen what you want to believe, which is perfect. And it's happened the way it's supposed to for you right now.
Yeah, that's it. Right. I agree with you on that. We create our lives through our beliefs, and I don't know what I want to believe in yet when it comes to a lot of this stuff. And I'm 24. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, I don't think, I'm not in a rush for it too. I think this figuring out what the bigger things in life are, it's a life journey. But right now, all I do know is that what I'm doing is working, and I have a really big vision for it. And I know deep down that it's going to be big, and I know that. And I think, anyone can have that feeling of, I'm meant to live an exceptional life.
Yes.
And, I really believe that all of us are deeply special and deeply unique. And we all have that deep down thought inside of us, like, I could be more. So with my meditations, I try to take that little voice from inside of people and like, amplify it and get them to take action towards being that. So yeah.
And I think even the extremely practical person will be like, Mimi, well, how do you know that?
I just know, and I've seen it to be proven in my life and in other people's lives. And if you don't want to live an average life, you have to stop doing average things. And I say average, I use average as a bad word, and some people hate me for it, but average is a bad word, because look at average in today's society. It's unhappy, overweight, hate their lives, wait for the weekend, get drunk every weekend, feel depressed, only earning X amount per year. Like, average is not what I want. So if average was different, I'd want to be average, but it's not. So if you don't want to be average, then you have to stop doing average people things. Like, when I was going through my initial big phase of growth, I actually I was alone a lot because I didn't want to hang out with
Mm.
anyone that wasn't where I wanted to be. So, it can be lonely, it can be hard, it can be just something you don't want to do at the time of growth, but it's really worth it going through this personal development and believing in yourself to be something bigger.
Mm, that's cool. And I just want to acknowledge you for admitting that you aren't quite sure where you want to go with it yet. I think that's even cool. Of just acknowledging like, hey, these are these things. And kind of what we've already touched on is you can be both. Like you are trusting in this unknown, but you also, right, you might resonate with the word control. To me, like you're decisive,
Yeah.
right? And like you know what you want. And it's because like it's like you're controlling and not controlling, like you're both. And there's so much nuance in it of it's like you are taking all the action because of course you've seen results from that, but a lot of it you can't explain. So it's like, why can't it be both?
Yeah, that's a good way to think of it. Thank you. I try to be both. And,
Mhm.
I play around with it in different areas of my life. Like with my boyfriend and stuff, I'm not overly controlling. I'm very feminine and I'm like,
Mhm.
I like to have that role in the relationship.
Yep.
Obviously, sometimes I'm like, oh, we're ordering this for dinner, but like in the bigger ways, he is
Uh-huh.
like alpha male. And I really enjoy that because I
Mhm.
don't want to be this, very just bold version of me in every area of my life. So I'm glad that I've been able to kind of categorize it
Mhm.
and design my life the way I want it to be. And I work towards it
Yeah.
every day. I'm definitely not 100% there yet. I have many moments where I am. And the more I do this work, the more I do the growth, the more I feel like the ultimate me. But I still go through so many moments every day where I don't feel great. And I have to get myself back on track. And I'm like feeling low and I have to do this. And then I sit on my phone for 2 hours and hate myself for it. And then I have to get back up and then I meditate and I feel great.
Uh-huh.
And then I record 10 meditations and I feel like
Mhm.
on fire. And then I
Yep.
go, it's just like it's this dance of life. And I haven't experienced full perfection yet. I don't know if I ever will. I don't think I ever will. But I think trying to be the best me
That's
makes
funny.
me feel my best. And that's all I know.
Mhm. That's cool. I love that. How, when you talk about Ben, your boyfriend, so this is one thing with a lot of women I've worked with. Um, they are highly successful, and like meaning, it's so they've developed these habits similar to you, right? Where it's I know what I can get because of this. I'm very ambitious, da 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 da. But they don't know how to turn that off in the romantic sphere of their life. So what does that look like for you?
I love that you asked that because I will say that when I want to be more feminine and tap into more of that feminine energy, I'll do it in many little areas of my life. So, for example, if I'm washing my face and
Mm.
instead of just wiping it dry, I'll like pat it dry, like little things.
Ah,
And I think, there is the saying of how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you can be that bold masculine energy of being a go-getter and also have parts of you that are softer and more feminine.
mhm.
Um, what was your question though? It was how do I
So right, it's so you're right on there, but yeah, just as far as how do you not necessarily turn that off, but how do you do both, right, in your business and be that feminine with Ben?
Okay, yeah. So I've decided consciously and unconsciously that this is how I act in different parts of my life. And I've seen what makes me feel best. I think I go a lot with how I'm feeling. I'm very in tune with my body, with my emotions. So if I am in a business meeting and I am talking to someone about taking them on for a big contract or,
Mm,
something. And when it comes to like money, I'm really good at being decisive.
mhm,
If for example, if I did a video with my team and there was something in the video that I didn't like, I'll write back right away and say, hey, let's change this.
mm,
So I'm good at deciding what I want when it comes to business. And in relationships too, I'm not going to not say something like if we're in a fight, like we're very vocal,
mhm,
like we're good at communicating. And so I really just to answer your question, like I haven't really done many exercises to like just decide on that. Like I've just, I guess, emotionally been drawn to what feels good for me.
mm,
Um, and at the beginning of our relationship, maybe I was a bit more bold and masculine, but I've over time naturally felt better letting him kind of take the reins a lot of the time and just being that like little girl me. I love, like, that's a really special part of our relationship that I value a lot. It's like we're kids together, and I
Cool.
can be this like little cute Mimi and like be silly and,
Uh-huh.
you know, and like we just have fun together, and it's very
Mhm.
light. And to have that light energy, I need to like not be intense and masculine sometimes, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I go with my gut, and I'm very in tune with what feels good and what doesn't. And it's a time and place for everything. Like sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's the opposite when we're fighting and stuff. I'm very, like not controlling, but I'm good at controlling my emotions so that
Mm.
I can communicate in a way that is bold so that they understand what's going on. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's kind of,
Mhm.
again, like I keep saying, it's like a dance. You got to kind of, I
Yes.
don't think being all one way or all the other way is healthy in any area of life and relationships. Just like in business, if I'm collaborating with my, let's say like my CMO, my marketing girl,
Mhm.
and she has a view on something and I have a different view, like, we kind of talk about it, and it's not
Mm.
like I'm going to be just stubborn. Like I'm really good at playing the dance, I think.
That's cool. And it's funny, like I was waiting to say the dance because you brought it up earlier. So I love that you brought it up. Because it is, and so much like in this world, we do a lot of the time get caught up with like masculine, feminine
Mm-hmm.
definitions.
Yeah,
And it's the same, I mean, with anything, we've talked a lot about words and meaning, which is cool. But it's like those are guidelines, but it's like what you're doing is that I like is yes, it's good to be aware of the information, the wisdom, but ultimately you're doing what feels good to you, but not strictly from a place of this is what I'm comfortable with and from my quote unquote wounding, right? Because a lot of people could say like, well, this feels natural to me, but you're tapped into the place of this is natural to me and the what I want to create, and you're feeling into that instead of like just focusing on a guideline and like this is the rules, I'm gonna do it.
totally. Yeah, exactly. And I think it takes a lot of work to get to that point. If you asked
Mm-hmm.
me 6, 7 years ago, like, oh, just be intuitively you, I didn't know how to be. I was so far away from myself, that I just kind of did what I thought I should be doing to fit in or to be cool, or, trying to get external validation in ways. Like I wasn't tapped in at all or connected. So I didn't really know how to be that authentic me necessarily, especially around other people.
Mm,
The one thing I did keep up for most of my life is journaling and writing. And I always
cool.
saw like the real me when I did that. So that was one thing that I think really helped me just understand myself and who I am, and just improving myself, because the more I improve myself, the more me I feel. And I think there's something really beautiful about discipline and just self determination, to an extent, knowing when to rest as well. But I think
Mm,
living your life feeling good, it's, having that investor's mentality towards your whole life is what I like to say. That's
mm.
actually a chapter in the book I'm writing right now.
Ooh.
And yeah, having an investor's mentality towards your entire life, not just with money, but with your health, your relationships, yourself, right? Putting in a little bit of extra effort and time now, planting the seed now, and then reaping the rewards later. And I think that's such a basic life skill that a lot of people lack on. A lot of people are just giving into immediate instant gratification all the time with
Mm-hmm.
everything, with food, with relationships, overeating, cheating, with their own self, like,
Mm,
not giving themselves time to like self-care and like have a night in and read and have a bubble bath. And like that makes you actually feel really good. Instead, if they're stressed and anxious, they go out to a club one night to let off steam with their friends, but they're going to feel like crap the next day. It's not constructive. So just choosing things that you feel are an investment for your future, I
mm-hmm.
think is something really important that more people should do. Um, so yeah.
That's cool. I love that. And one thing I believe is because yeah, you're right with money. People say really only about, investing, compound interest, ROI, whatever. But it's in every area of your life. It's not when we talk about, making choices or thoughts or whatever, it's like you were already invested. So it's not like you are now choosing to be in. I get yes and no, but the point I'm getting to is like you were already invested. So it's not whether you are invested or not. It's like, no, what are you invested in? because whatever choice you're making now, that is the return you're getting on the decision now.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I just like to look is like, no, like you already are. It's like every single person is technically invested, but yeah, you're right. It's like, what do you want more of? And how do you balance that of, because you're obviously so driven, right? And ambitious, all the, like, you know what you want. So how do you like, how do you balance that? Or what does that look like for you of like enjoying the now, like living in the moment, and also knowing, because if we keep, just like, okay, I'm investing this so I can take this money out when I'm 65. I'm like, no, screw that. Like, I'm not living that way. Like, I don't want to live when I'm 65. So how do you do instant or delayed gratification versus living in the present?
That is such a good question. And I love talking about this because it's so important.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just, I don't believe you could just, I don't think that you need to just live in the moment forever. And that's where you'll ever be. And that it is true though. It's where you will always ever be is in the moment, but mixing in, working towards your future, it feels good in the moment too, if you really tap into that. So
Yes.
like what I like to say is there's this perfect line right in the middle, being in the present moment and striving for more, and working towards a better future. And that sweet spot is where you want to live. And there are some moments where you're going to be fully immersed in the present moment, and that's amazing. And then there are going to be some moments where you put a little bit of discipline aside to really work on your future. But in the most kind of in the general, realm of things, I think there is that sweet spot in the middle that we all should be focused on living in. And that's a little bit of both, and going back and forth throughout your day, and having that ability to just understand when you should be in which place, I think is important. But yeah, to answer your question, there's a spot right in the middle that I think is best for people to live in. And dancing, again, that word dance between either side, I think is also pretty important. I think they're both really important. And that's why I love to do my meditations every day, because I feel in the moment while also embodying the energy of my future. That's what my meditations are all about. You're in the moment while just embracing how you want to feel. And that's, again, that sweet spot moment. And the more you're there, the more you just feel life.
And that's cool because it goes back to just like enjoying that, right? It doesn't have to be, oh, this sucks so bad. Like it's like, no, you're enjoying it because you're still in the moment. But Mimi, I'm curious, when you're, because right, the dancing, the swing, like the back and forth, the pendulum, when you're swinging more into doing mode, how do you, or actually, what are you more comfortable with naturally, doing or resting?
That's such a good question. Honestly, it's the sweet spot. I love the sweet spot. It's in the middle of both. That's kind of, it used to be more doing.
Okay.
And I used to struggle with being in the moment more, but now I'm like really finding joy in that middle moment. And then knowing when to do either, so to answer your question, it's that sweet spot. It's like right in the middle, because just doing, it doesn't really feel amazing all the time. And then just living in the moment feels good, but you kind of like need more direction sometimes. So it's that in between that I like to live.
That's cool. So how did you, so let's say you're, swinging more on like the doing side of things right now, you're dancing over here. A lot of people, a lot of us like to think like, well, man, I want to be resting right now. It's like, it's how do you be in that present versus just like, you're not where you are, right? And then when you're resting, you think about all the things you could be doing.
So I like to, the way that I like to work is, I'll wake up in the morning, and I do a lot of my work in the morning. Like I have a whole morning routine, and when I'm writing and journaling, and I always brainstorm for my business, and I'm really good at doing that right in the morning because I feel like the most clear and less distracted. So what I like to do if I have work to do, like if I'm starting to write for my book or something, like I'll get all cozy, put my robe on, maybe like a face mask on, like have like a cup of tea or like a coffee, and get somewhere comfortable, and then like take my laptop out and start writing. It's like, you don't need to be this like hunched over a desk, like really feeling stressed and negative when you're doing work. Why don't you just start enjoying it more, and like have aspects around you, like play some nice meditation music in the background, just do things that make you feel good while you're doing that work. And I think that is how I kind of enjoy both if I need to do work. And then also just like, from like a productivity standpoint, having my days just lined out for me, like if I am having a busy day, knowing that I can take my time now to just be, because in an hour I have something else scheduled. Like, I think that's a really important thing to note as well, because I think for people that like to be doing all the time and controlling, just having like a calendar to have some of your rest time, locked into there is really important. So you can actually just relax when you're relaxing, because the rest of your day is planned and you have it all covered. So that really helps me. But yeah, also just taking breaks. Like, you don't need to be switched on work mode 24/7. You can take a 5-10 minute break, go outside without your phone and just like be, and then go back and then do it. Right. So it's like finding that rhythm.
That's cool. So one of the last questions I have for you is, you shared a post of mine, and I'm curious to know why you resonated with it so much. And it was something like, trying to fix someone reveals you have not yet fully accepted yourself.
Oh, that's interesting. I forget when I repost that. I always repost the nice quotes, but that was a really good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to fix someone reveals what you have within yourself. Um, yeah. Oh my God. With every relationship of mine in my life, if I'm feeling annoyed at my boyfriend or my sister or someone, I get such a reflection of myself. So what was it? I'm sure there was a situation that happened that it made me repost that, because I often repost things that I feel like I resonate with in that moment.
Like in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, like if I'm in a fight with my boyfriend or something and he's not doing what I want him to, maybe I ask myself, oh, is there an area where I can be softer with myself in my life? Am I setting standards that are too high for myself, so that I'm setting them on other people as well? So therefore I can't, like it's never going to be met because I can't even meet them myself. You know what I mean? Like things like that, just kind of being a bit more understanding of humans and yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I love that. So we're gonna do, so Mimi's gonna lead us in a quick meditation. So I guess before we go into this, because like we'll end with it and then I'll just end the recording so people can just vibe out. And so I just want to say thank you, Mimi. This is cool. Why these things are so fun is because it's just really me getting to know you. And I know so many other people will resonate with it. And to watch your reactions and like what lights you up and like your gifts, and you're very intuitive. Like I told you when I first like DM'd you, like I knew there was something. And so like, I'm like, okay. So like some things were just like confirmed about you. And I just want to like, you already know this, but you definitely are like on the right path. Like you're in that line that you like to live in, of the being and the doing and the resting. And like beyond the like money is awesome, like love it. I love fun, love luxury, love it as a tool, and the success, all the things. Like I'm big on like living a big life, but at the same time, like you're just being you, and I can feel that. And so I think that's like your secret, is that you, and that really what you said at the beginning is like, that really is everyone's secret. It's like knowing yourself so you can be yourself, but you've really tapped into that, and you use the word tapped in a lot, but I just wanted to acknowledge that. It's really cool.
Thank you so much. That's so great to hear. And I hope it inspires people, because I didn't start my life with this. My parents didn't have a lot of money growing up. I wasn't raised in luxury. I created everything I have for myself. And that just shows that if someone else can do it, so can you. So that's what kind of I like to say. So yeah. And in the meditation I'm about to lead us through, it'll be like a 2-minute, very short meditation, but it'll just kind of get you to connect with your best self, your future self, I like to call it. And
so I love that. So Mimi, like, and this might be part of the meditation, but I'm curious for you, when you say your best, highest future now, whatever that is that we don't know, what do you envision? Like, what does that look like to you?
It's such a good question. It's more of a feeling, it's a feeling. Yeah. It's a feeling of like that I can tap into it. Like right now I feel it. So I live my future self sometimes, and then I go out of it and I live it again and go out of it. So it's just that feeling of just bliss and contentment and being satisfied with who I am. feeling like there is nowhere else to go. Like I'm just there.
That's cool. If there was one, I know you mentioned angel wings. Is there one like symbol, like if you close your eyes, is there one thing or color or something that like you associate with that feeling?
Sunset orange.
Ooh.
That's like my color. I always get
Oof.
people to envision gold and light around them. It's such a good energy color to envision, like sparkly gold and light. I'll integrate that into the meditation.
Cool.
Because you
Let's
just
do
feel
it.
like you're glowing,
Sunset orange. I love that. Well, thank you, Mimi. Let's freaking do it.
Let's do it. All right, so you can close your eyes and just start feeling your body wherever you are. Just start feeling your body, because to get out of your head and stop overthinking, you got to get into your body. So feeling your heartbeat, feeling your breath as you breathe in and out, just feeling your body. And start to think about the ultimate expression of you. Who is that ultimate you? Just open up your mind and see the potential, because your potential is so infinite. You can be anything that you want to be, and you can do anything that you want to do. So with that in mind, just envision the ultimate you. Start to embody their body, putting your shoulders back, holding yourself like your future self. Feeling your body, getting out of your head and just feeling where you are right now. And start to envision golden, sparkly, radiant light being emitted from your body. A meter around you, just like a big aura of golden, sparkly light. Feel it tickling your skin. Just envision it around you. Make it your reality right now. Remembering that you are in your future self body. So holding it, breathing, and experience how it feels to be this ultimate you. Memorize the feeling. Emotionally feel what it feels like to be unlimited, to be abundant, to have everything that you want in your life. And as you keep envisioning this golden light surrounding you, feeling your body and your soul just transform into your future self, knowing that you can tap into your future self, your best self, your higher self at any given moment. In cultivating the frequency of your future, every emotion that you want to feel, all in one, the frequency of your future, and just holding on to it, memorizing that feeling. And just knowing that it's so within reach. The more that you tap into this feeling, the faster you'll get there. So before opening up your eyes, just committing to yourself that for the rest of today, you're going to feel this way as much as possible. You're going to hold on to this and keep coming back to this feeling of your future, because you can be there, you can get there, you can embody this. It's all on you. You're responsible for creating this for yourself. So let that thought empower you. And as you slowly open up your eyes, you can come back to this new life, seeing the world through a different lens, and just noticing how different your body feels, while again, knowing that you can hold on to this for the rest of today.